It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Well, good day and welcome to the program. I'm Brad Miller. It is County-Wide, and we're happy to welcome back a guest we've chatted with a number of times about important matters having to do with Prescott Valley. And with the Prescott Valley Police Department, Community Services Supervisor is Jodi Mullins. And we say hello to Jodi this morning. How you doing, Jodi?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful.
Doing all right. It's a lot of activity and a lot of things happening, I'm sure, with the election coming up and holidays coming up. It's a busy time for everybody, and not the least of which the municipalities and the cities that house so many of us, and the police departments that protect so many of us. One of the things, speaking of election, I know that your office issued a press release this week, and I know in the Verde Valley, I know Cottonwood and other communities are having a dickens of a time with people stealing or vandalizing election signs. It's that time of year. A lot of signs get posted, some on private property, some in city rights of way. And is that right? Police there in your area, Prescott Valley, are seeing a lot of vandalism, theft, what? What are you having?
A little bit of both. We're having a lot of signs that are being defaced, as well as just signs that are being stolen. And I'm sure that's going to increase as the election gets closer. The thing that I probably want people to know is that it is a misdemeanor to tamper and deface election signs. And if you get caught, then you will get charged with that.
I wonder if people think it's kind of almost a more pranksterism than actual criminality, but it's gotten to the point where if that happens once or twice, maybe you could say that. But it seems to be happening quite an awful bit. I know these days with security cameras everywhere, doorbell cameras in residential areas, are you able to get evidence? Is there any more kind of compelling evidence these days than maybe there was even 10 years ago about these kinds of nuisance crimes?
Well, absolutely. With so many people having exterior security cameras, we're actually obtaining footage of suspects going on to people's private properties and taking their signs. And, and there's so many levels to that, because then that person who owns that home feels somewhat violated because the stranger's been on their property. And that's not okay. That's not okay for anybody.
Right.
And, we all have our opinions. We all know who we're going to vote for. Just leave the signs alone. You're not going to change anybody's mind. And it just creates anxiety and anger and frustration in the community that we just don't need.
I know sometimes you can get a neighbor on neighbor even, or people you didn't suspect would maybe kind of, have ill intent for you or your property. And then you're still going to live next to one another way after the election's over, no matter who wins or loses. And now you've got maybe not a kind of a sour relationship with folks that maybe you didn't have before. It seems like that's the real kind of consequence here.
Yeah, Prescott Valley really is an amazing place. It's a very generous community. I've lived out here almost 10 years now, and I love it here. I love it here. I love the people here. And these things just become ugly. They become ugly, and they don't have to be. If everybody would vote who you're going to vote for, let people express their freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and just let it go.
Yeah.
Just be a much better place.
Now, what you talk about, these are misdemeanors. Have there been arrests? Have you kind of apprehended anybody or talked to anybody specifically about this kind of stuff? I'm not looking for names, but just if there's been kind of that one-on-one contact with people who might be acting up a little bit.
Yeah, there's some things that are in the works right now. We haven't actually made any arrests yet. It hasn't really risen until recently, where it's really become problematic.
Okay. And as and we're recording the show here on the 22nd of October, so 2 full weeks yet. There could be a lot of animosity and a lot of stuff going on between now and then. Kind of somewhat similarly, will there be, I know that in some communities, Arizona's really been designated kind of a toss-up state, and there's some high feelings. Polling shows that the major party candidates are really kind of neck and neck, and that can be anxiety for people. Have you had any concern about polling places? Does your department concern itself with protecting or scouting out or anything added kind of presence on Election Day around polling sites or things like that?
We haven't really had any discussions that I'm aware of as yet, and we haven't really had any problems, to the best of my knowledge, in the past. But I know that we do have contingency plans in place should the need arise.
Right. And what would trigger that? Just things bubbling up or specific complaints maybe from elections officials? Or how do you kind of act on that? How do you know when it's time to maybe have a heavier presence? Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I'm not part of that team that plans those things.
Okay.
I know that whenever we have large-scale things that happen in the community, that our operations lieutenants have things in place to call in additional personnel if needed.
Okay. Bounce back to signs here real quick. You mentioned a misdemeanor. I started to ask you this question. A misdemeanor, is that what? Could there be jail time with that? More likely a fine, a little of both? What can happen?
I believe it's a fine.
Yeah.
It can be a really hefty fine. It's just, is it really worth it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That would be the real thing, is the embarrassment of people knowing that you did something that kind of juvenile, to be honest. Like smashing pumpkins when you're a teenager. It seems like a harmless prank maybe, but it's real crime and it has real consequences like anything that people do. There's a law in place for a reason, and Prescott Valley PD, and I know communities, police agencies across the state are really on their heels about the sign stealing and those kinds of things. And whether that can foment something bigger coming around the corner, we would certainly hope not. All right, we'll take a short break. Our guest, Jodi Mullins, is with Prescott Valley Police Community Services Supervisor, and I want to talk when we come back about kind of a new program. This is a new to me, but it sounds like something that could be very valuable for folks within the community in terms of safety and kind of a cooperative, if you will. Our guest is Jodi Mullins via Zoom this morning. I'm Brad Miller. It's Countywide. We'll be back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Thank you so very much for your generosity and kindness in helping others. I hope that you take advantage of the many Arizona state tax credits available when giving to qualified charities and schools. If you haven't taken advantage, I hope you'll ask your favorite charity if they qualify. You can go to Arizona Department of Revenue website, search for tax credits, and look at the list of qualifying charities. Then look at your latest Arizona income tax return and see how an Arizona tax credit can benefit many. This is Lewis saying thanks again.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
We welcome you back to the program. Again, it is Countywide. I'm Brad Miller, and via Zoom today, we're chatting with Jodi Mullins, Prescott Valley Police Department. Jodi's the Community Service Supervisor there, talking about a number of things on this morning's program. Don't knock down or steal or invalidate or violate or vandalize campaign signs. It's happening, and it's happening too much, beyond the point of it just being a nuisance. So stay away from that. Let's all play nice. And then, Jodi, there's a new program there, the FLOCK program. I think that's an acronym for kind of a community safety mechanism or program. Explain this to me. What is this?
Well, FLOCK is the company that puts out these automated license plate readers, and I'm really excited about this program. because what it does is it adds resources to communities that may have like larger open areas, maybe fewer officers. They have solved, with these cameras, they've solved over 700,000 crimes nationwide. 10% of reported crime gets solved by flock cameras. And what it is, I know people have a lot of fear thinking about Big Brother.
Yeah.
All this is an extra set of eyes that will take and store license plates. It doesn't video driver behavior. It doesn't videotape drivers. It just simply takes snapshots of these license plates. And where that affects communities is, let's say that one of your loved ones goes missing. We get a lot of silver alerts out here. Officers can only be in so many places. You know, those silver alert signs only in so many places. If that missing license plate is entered into the system, flock hits on it, it will notify local law enforcement. And that will assist us in finding that missing person sooner. Now that we're getting closer to the holidays, we get a lot of porch pirates, we get a lot of home invasion type burglaries, that type of thing. This would also monitor those license plates, whereas out exteriors, home security cameras add one layer to the piece, the flock cameras add another. And it's not technology we need to be afraid of. It was not Big Brother. If you think about it, our criminals are using technology to commit crimes at a greater rate. And so why would the police department not do the same?
Right.
We have the technology. Let's use it to our benefit and keep our community safer.
Now, this is not like, this is aimed specifically at kind of gathering information from automobile license plates. And in Arizona, typically that just means the license plate on the rear, no front plate. Right. So, yeah. So it's not like in London, England, famously a city is wired head to toe with CCTV, their closed circuit TV. And I mean, they've got cameras on almost every street corner there. That's not what this is at all, is it?
No, not at all. Not at all. We have several around town now, and we have a forum on October 30th here at the PD starting at 4:00, where we're inviting businesses and homeowner associations, personnel and block watch captains to come and talk to a flock representative. We're trying to get more cameras in and out of neighborhoods so that if we have suspect vehicles, say someone is the victim of a crime, even a terrible crime, we may not have the resources. Well, if we can get a license plate, that could open a door to where we may actually catch that person. You know, that we know that a certain vehicle was in this area, and that would help our detectives immensely in giving us leads to where we might be able to solve this crime.
Right. I'm going to tip my hand on how much true crime TV I watch, but how often have we seen on some of these TV shows where they'll get an image from say a 7-Eleven, say, has a camera pointed toward the road, and you'll see a car, kind of the right model and the right color, say, as a suspect vehicle, but no plate. So this would add a critical piece of information, perhaps, to that kind of information. And all these together, maybe a doorbell cam gets one angle of a suspect car, another camera gets another, and now you've got this system, which could affix a license plate to it at that time and place. Well, that could break the case, not just be a big boon.
Okay. You know, and the thing is that we're looking at it like property crime. Okay, when we catch that porch pirate, you know, holidays are always a stressful time for families, and we have domestic violence that goes up, and among other things. And what an awesome tool to have if, say, we have a terrible crime happen, say we have a murder happen in our community, and now we don't have any leads, but now we have a license plate. Now we have a make and model of a vehicle. You know, how much that could assist our detectives in solving that crime and bringing closure to that family.
Yeah, that could be the whole ball game right there.
I just don't see a downside. I don't see a downside to this technology.
Right. Now, presumably, this will be, I'm not sure these cameras would be affixed. Would they have to be like affixed roadside or under the eave of a roof, or how does it seems like placement is going to be really important?
Yes. Right now we have several of these cameras around town that are fixed at the major intersections. And we're looking at getting cameras in and out of the major ingress and egress areas of like Pronghorn, Coyote Springs,
Sure.
the big box stores, Walmart, Home Depot, areas like that as well, just to assist us in solving the crimes. We've been fortunate in that we haven't had like the flash mob style crimes like some of the other major cities have had. That doesn't mean that it couldn't happen here. I think if COVID's taught us anything, that it doesn't take very long for things to change.
You're right.
And what an awesome tool to have in place to keep our community safe. And, it would just require buy-in from the community, but we want the community to come to the forum on the 30th and see what Flock has to offer and hear about the capabilities of this technology. Rather than be afraid of it and naysay it, as on social media, arm yourself with the information and make an informed decision.
Right. Yeah. The more you know, the more valuable, the more information you have, the better your decisions and opinions and thoughts can kind of be formulated. Okay, tell me again before we take our next break, that meeting for stakeholders, I guess we would call them, homeowners, business owners, is going to be when and where?
On October 30th, which is next Wednesday, here at the Prescott Valley Police Department training room at 7601 East School Boulevard. It starts at 4 o'clock, and there will be a representative from Flock here to answer questions from the community.
Interesting. Again, Prescott Valley Police Department kind of out front with something interesting, a new device in identifying perhaps, say, suspect vehicles through the license plate. That kind of information could be invaluable in the event of crime, big or small. It's Jodi Mullins as our guest today on Countywide. I'm Brad Miller. We'll take another short break, and we'll be back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology, factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Thank you so very much for your generosity and kindness in helping others. I hope that you take advantage of the many Arizona state tax credits available when giving to qualified charities and schools. If you haven't taken advantage, I hope you'll ask your favorite charity if they qualify. You can go to Arizona Department of Revenue website, search for tax credits, and look at the list of qualifying charities. Then look at your latest Arizona income tax return and see how an Arizona tax credit can benefit many. This is Lewis saying thanks again.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
We welcome you back to the program, our final segment. Jodi Mullins with Prescott Valley Police, and talking about a number of important things today. And in our final segment, something coming up here on Thursday that you don't want to miss out. That's today. Prescott Valley Police participating in the Fuel of Dreams. Now, this is to benefit the Jodi Special Olympics. Is that right?
Yeah, this is one of the fundraisers for Special Olympics Arizona. It is events like this, fundraising events like this, that allows the Special Olympic to provide services to their special athletes, leadership, education, health. They can't do these things for these athletes without us.
Now, I know law enforcement agencies across the nation have been involved with Special Olympics. That includes Prescott Valley Police. I I can remember talking about events, either fundraisers or different kinds of things with Special Olympics in Prescott Valley. I mean, go back decades. I mean, like a long time. So this is an affiliation that's kind of tried and true, isn't it?
It is. And we're very proud to do it, and we enjoy doing it. And we enjoy the fact that these efforts do go to serve those special athletes. And on this year, we're actually in competition with Prescott. So if anyone wants to come out and hit the Glassford Hill, the Fry's Fuel Center on Glassford Hill on the day that we're doing the Fuel of Dreams, that would be awesome. And basically, it's a typical program. We'll pump your gas, wash your windshield, just interact with you for a little bit. And it's always fun to get to know our community members. And we also have raffle tickets for sale that for $10 that put you in a drawing to win up to $500 in Fry's gift cards.
Yeah, that's cool. Nice little incentive on top of doing a good thing. Okay, so that's today, actually, Fry's Glassford Hill. You'll see a police presence there, and it's all for a good cause. Special Olympics has been supported by Prescott Valley PD for decades, for a long time, and that continues today. Fuel of Dreams, they're calling it. A good day to fill up. A good piece of your contribution, your participation in this will go towards Arizona Special Olympics and the special athletes and the volunteers and folks who put all of that together. And that's happening today at the Fry's there, Glassford Hill Road in Prescott Valley. All right, once again, Jodi, as we wrap up, hey, don't be knocking down or stealing those campaign signs, folks. We got less than 2 weeks to the election. You can make it, right?
Yeah, I would just urge people just to respect each other, respect the law, and just treat each other with kindness. This is a hard time for everybody, and a little kindness goes a long way.
If people had pink flamingos in their yard, you probably wouldn't knock those down or steal those. Pretend the signs are just pink flamingos, I guess. Or maybe they would take those before they would take the signs. All right, we joke about it, but it's a serious kind of thing, and people are getting a little too involved in that, a little too carried away with their zealousness about the upcoming election. It'll be over soon. Those campaign signs will all be coming down, and then we'll be neighbors again. All right, Jodi Mullins, we thank you very much for the work that you do and helping us out on our program here today. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, and you guys all have a great week.
All right, it's Jodi Mullins, Countywide. I'm Brad Miller, and we'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.